G'day everyone, I'm Smokescreen and welcome back to another week and yet another video. So of course got two videos once again lined up for you, and this is the first of which. So here we go. So we're trying to recover actually here from my absolutely awful run around Sardinia Sea last week. Or it was actually this week, or like the same week of this race, but obviously I gave you the video last week. Anyway, it's Race A. So Race A is usually crap, to be honest, but this week it's actually good. It's Group 4 specially provided cars around this track called Nürburgring GP. So it's a little GP loop at the bottom of Nordschleife. But the specially provided cars are the front-wheel drive Group 4 cars. So that's the Volkswagen Scirocco, Renault Megane, and Audi TT. But you can just see we're carving through the field from starting 8th. So I didn't set a qualifying lap in attempt to see how many positions I can gain up as I just push him out of the way. But you'll see quite a bit of biff and barge throughout this video as we shepherd that guy wide, because really I lost all my ratings down in the BB lobbies. You know what, if you can't beat him then join him. So we're going to see me go around really heavy-handedly in my Volkswagen Scirocco here as we try to make our way through the 3-lap sprint that is this race at Nürb GP. So of course the specially provided cars, you can't use your liveries because they give you the cars and you only have to use the in-game ones. So that's why I've gone for just the orange coloured rather than that sort of black and red sort of pearlescent livery. But as we go into the chicane of the second lap, the guy up ahead in second just goes very deep, and let's see if we can get around him. Yes, we can. Full right lock, go to his inside, and just sail right by before the top hairpin Jaguar curve. But he pounces on me taking the wide entry and goes up the inside, and there's no way I can meet that apex, and he just gives me enough room. Borderline, I had a wheel in the dirt, but he just gave me the room there to avoid a penalty, and I'm pushing him over to the inside. He goes to the outside, that's exactly what I wanted, but he swoops back to the inside, breaking down towards turn 1, Yokohama S. Go in, he goes very deep, I take the late apex, and we manage to get ourselves that position, going into the Mercedes arena now. Let's see if we can keep this position. We can, 7 seconds off the leader. There's no way we're going to be able to get that gap back up. But let's see if we can just hold this guy off for this lap there. See, we take a narrow line through turn 3, and then we get a nice racing line through turn 4, and that just extends the gap out a bit, so we're 5 tenths ahead. By the end of the lap, that's really where we stayed, 5 tenths ahead of this guy in third, and we managed to bring it home in second place from 8th on the grid. I'll take it. Very happy with that. So you see some of the cars there. Oh, I forgot the Peugeot RCZ. That's the other, so there's 4 cars you can use for this race. Volkswagen Scirocco, Peugeot RCZ, Renault Megane, just the normal Group 4 Megane, and the Audi TT. I've gone for the Scirocco. I think it has the best. Oh, actually, I think the TT has the best straight line, but I've had a bit of experience in the Scirocco, so that's why I've gone for this particular car. But we'll see in a second that my results are confirmed for my second place. So I didn't set a qualifying lap, so obviously that's about as best as this race was going to go. See, there we go, 6 positions raised into second on Daily Race A. So you can have a better look at that Scirocco there. It's just the normal in-game Scirocco livery. There's a big R on the side of the door. It was just covered by my driver there, but we move on to the next race. So I think I did set a qualifying time this time, albeit not a great one. Yeah, I did, 207.8. So I've put my rating up to BA from BB before, and I'm now second on the grid. Now, if I was in my ratings where I usually am, then that'd probably be down the bottom of the grid. But in these lower lobbies, then 207 is alright. Top time's like 204 or something ridiculous. But let's go through this race now, breaking down towards turn 1. These ever sharp Yokohama S nearly get lunged by an Audi TT. But we managed to keep the second position. But going in wide for turn 2, he just pushes his way past, so that's a position lost already, and that shepherds us wide. Going into turn 3, we take the same wide entry again, get lunged by another TT, get shepherded wide again, down on the radar. There's a bit of fighting behind, so we've been lunged by the double TT, the TTTT, the quadruple T if you will. I've been absolutely murdered. Down into 4th from 2nd on the grid. Braking down into turn 5. Doesn't have a name this corner, but we actually managed to keep the position and actually catch a bit of ground. Just touch the back of the TT ahead. Slows us down, get lunged by 1, 2 TTs. There's another one lurking behind. It's the TT assault. I'm being assaulted by TTs. Never thought I would say that to mean a negative thing. Coming down towards the bottom hairpin, get lunged by a Scirocco. That's the silver variation of the livery I'm running. That was Dunlop Quixote. That corner there. The Michael Schumacher S now. Let's see if we can get through here. We get a nice run through there. Actually, keep it full throttle. I do have a little bit of traction control because the car just straightens out so much on corner exit. Trying to get the power down, so a bit of traction control helps with that. And that's why you see the little red flash again in my accelerator input this time. I don't usually run traction control, but if it helps me straighten up on corners, then, or it helps me get corners correct, then why not use it? I'm only using one, so it's not like I'm relying on it. Let's go up into the chicane now. Look how sharp this chicane is. Audi TT lunges down the inside, crashes into that Scirocco there, and I managed to make up 2 positions there. So I'm in a 5th now. Remember, I was 2nd on the grid. Let's see how close we can get to 2nd. So you see the kind of line I take through that final corner there, late apex, and I get a slightly better run than this guy. Gu Hihihihu is his name there, from Japan. Just switch views, see if we can get a good view or good judgment of the distance between us, but he just pulls out a bit of a gap. Maybe he does have better acceleration. Lunge into turn 1, Yokohama S, to get that correct that time. Actually get a really nice line through there, actually. And let's see if we can catch up to these 2 TTs up ahead. So the situation a lap later from lap 1, I'm now up into 4th. I was also in 4th at this point in the race. Nearly get lunged by that TT, but you see he goes into hot and doesn't get quite the best run through there. Turn 4 or 5? Turn 4 that was. We get a nice racing line through there. So the main mojo, the main sort of idea through Mercedes Arena is sacrifice. So if you've got consecutive corners, you may have to sacrifice your run for the first one to get a good run out onto the straight after the second one. But through Ford curve there, we've managed to catch up the gap to Sky Falcon here. Let's see if we can get a nice overtake in the bottom hairpin, Dunlop Quixote. You see we try to go up the inside. It gets a little bit awkward, and you see that's what I mean by the car straightening out. I'm trying to get on the power, but it just drifts to the outside. Just touch him off the track. Get 3 seconds of penalties for that. Completely my fault, but we'll move right on with that. You see at this point here, it was actually looking good to get back up into 2nd place, but it's certainly not going that way now, as we now have 3 seconds of penalties that we're going to serve. I think it's coming out of turn 4, if I believe correctly, down the RTL straight, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But we're in this guy's slipstream running down the through Advenbogen, up the back straight, into the final Vidal chicane, braking just before the 100-metre board, quite a bit before the 100-metre board. He goes in quite deep. You see how much we can cut that, and I just really biff and barge my way up the inside there. You see how much we can cut that chicane. You just got to keep 2 wheels onto the like the red and white curbing through that chicane, and you'll be fine, even though it looks like you're absolutely cutting it. But they're the track limits, and if you don't take it, you're not going to get a good run through there. But through the course of this race, you see we've caught up quite a bit of time to this leader, 2.2 seconds behind. And honestly, if maybe I didn't get lunged repeatedly by the TTs into the through the first couple of turns, then maybe we could be on the back of this Peugeot up ahead. But you see into turn 1, we take a sort of a really weird line, and we manage to get overtaken by the TT, but we get immediately back past through turn 2 by him going wide and me being able to get the cut back. And he's once again on the outside through turn 4, and there's no way you can hang it around the outside there, because you can use all of that road runoff, which of course is where you drive. It's part of the track where like the part of the track that you take when using the Nürburgring top loop in the game. But you see we're actually going to serve the penalty here coming out of Ford curve. So not on the RTL straight, sorry, Ford curve here. We're going to slow down for 3 seconds, 1.7 seconds behind the leader. So you're actually catching him through the first half of the lap. So I was probably, well, actually have a look, fastest lap R4M smokescreen with 2:07.3. I am the fastest car on the track at the moment, but I'm just falling victim to some bad luck and bad driving, both on my part and my opponent's parts. But we fall back into 4th place, not 2nd, I wish it was 2nd, 4th place. going through Michael Schumacher-esque turns 8 and 9. Going to head up towards Ravenel curve turn 10, and then we go to Bilstein curve turn 11. But we just skip ahead. Nothing really much happened through the rest of that race. We just bring it home in 4th, 4.1 seconds behind the leader. I reckon we definitely could have won that race if we avoided the penalty, but we did get the penalty. There's nothing much we can do about that. But you see my results are confirmed there. But we'll move on to the next race. Let's hope we can have a good run second time round. We'll see how we go. Of course, the Scirocco, haven't really spoken about it. It's a good car. It's got good sort of straight line. Cornering, not that great, but that's nature of all FF cars. It's got 358 horsepower, available in the game upon release, and you can buy it from Brand Central for 350,000 credits. But here we go, we're going to start the race. Of course, a grid start. You do want to use traction control for these front-wheel drive cars because they really drag their front tyres, or the front tyres try to drag across the road. But you see, we start 7th this time, so not a great run. We've fallen back down to BB rating. We get absolutely lunged by like 3 TTs again. The theme of this video, it's more the TT assault, basically. Getting assaulted by TTs. Never thought that would be a bad thing, but we'll see how we go, running in 9th place. 2 positions off dead last on the grid. So let's see if we can actually have a good race this time. Good fighting. Hopefully we can have a good clean fight, avoid penalties, and just work our way up the grid as other people make mistakes. So let's see how we go. I've gone for the blue Scirocco this time. Thought, maybe changing colours will give me a bit better luck this time. So you just Braveheart there, gets shepherded wider. Just nudge Regreek Toto a little bit wide, but it doesn't translate into an overtake, so that is alright there. I've made my way up into 8th place on the grid. 3.6 seconds off the leader at this point, so let's see how that goes. TT up ahead goes very deep. Tries sort of to cut back on the apex. He just bumps into me. Ends up on the gravel. Does that result in the penalty? I think he did manage to keep 2 wheels under the curb. Yeah, we did avoid the penalty for that one. So that's making our way up into 7th. So, yes, I'm driving a bit rough. Let's not focus on that. Let's not berate me for my absolutely terrible driving. But really, that's sort of what you got to do. If you just drive all delicately, trying to, carefully craft your race in these lower lobbies, you're not going to win because your opponents are just going to shove you out of the way. You got to get your elbows out and really assert your dominance because everyone does it in these lower lobbies. Of course, this level of driving is absolutely unacceptable in the high lobbies, but that's how we do the races through here. See that Peugeot up ahead went very deep into the chicane, and Emperor 970. I just bumped him on the exit of the chicane, and he went a little bit wide, but it's not to worry. 2x2 coming out of Jaguar curve at the top, turn 15, and we're going down the straight. Emperor tries to split the difference between the Audi up ahead and the Peugeot, but he just slots in between me and that Audi up ahead, getting, of course, I'm not going to complain, double slipstream, braking into turn 1. Nobody lunges from behind, that's always good. Really cut that apex. You don't want to knock over that bollard on the inside of the corner, you'll get reset, but you can cut it that much as I did. Just carefully sail by Ovlov behind me, but he gets the cutback, or the switchback rather, through turn 2, and he ends up back ahead through turn 3. So you see how messy this is. He almost sort of gives me no room across the apex of turn 4, but I just assert my dominance and just place my car in that position, and frankly he had to give me room. So looking around the outside through turn 5, not quite going to work. This Peugeot up ahead is going to serve half a second of penalties. We may get this position back up. See, all over the grass on the inside through turn 6, trying to get past Ovlov again. Let's see, we've got them again serving their penalty. The Peugeot served the penalty. I don't think it's going to be enough for an overtake, but let's see. Just sort of nudges, gets caught on the front end of this Audi up ahead, and shepherds him wide. We managed to get this position back up. So, good little battle here. We are losing time to the leader, but it's alright. Have a nice, fun little battle that makes for good viewing as well. So let's see, can we get past this Peugeot? So we're in the slipstream of the Peugeot, coming up towards turn 10. Ovlov lobs it up the inside. Fair move. I left the door open. Probably should have gone defensive, but I didn't this time. Another Audi behind runs into the back of us. Obviously not understanding the idea of you've got to go slow to go fast in racing. If you go too hot into corners, you go too wide and won't be able to get onto the power quite as early as you'd like. Braking in towards the chicane. Let's see what chaos ensues. You actually get through here nicely this time. Look at that. Ovlov a little bit wide, just going to the back quarter panel of him, not quite able to capitalise on an overtake. Swerve over to the left, trying to get a better run through Jaguar curve, hopefully get an overtake on the front straight. Let's see if we can do that. We get a better run than Ovlov, but he's in the slipstream of the Audi ahead, who in turn is in the slipstream of that Peugeot. Double slipstream. Ovlov pulls out to the inside, trying to go defensive to defend his position for 5th. But let's see, who has the biggest go now? So he's going to brake latest. Ovlov brakes slightly later than me, but just does a slight early apex. You can just see how much of an overlap I get. We're side by side into turn 2, but of course I'm on the wrong side. Ovlov runs deep, and I managed to go up the inside there. That of course gives me the inside for turn 3. It's good. We just brake a little bit late, go deep. Ovlov goes up my inside for going deep, and then I'm not able to get that overlap through turn 4 and keep it up the inside. So a good little battle between me and Ovlov here. Let's see, he gets half a second of penalties, probably for just exceeding track limits slightly through turn 4, just running over that inside curb. So he's going to serve that penalty, and we're actually going to gain that position, ideally. Look around the outside through turn 6, forward curve. We managed to get round there nicely, around the outside. See, we get a better run, just slot in ahead, but it's not to worry, he will serve his penalty. So let's see if we can get past Emperor between now and the finish. So try to go around the inside, just shove him out of the way. That was very strong. We managed to keep it onto the track just 2 wheels on the curb, and he got a penalty for it. Oh man, that is quite amusing for me, but hopefully he doesn't come back with any revenge moves. So that's a good little biff and barge there. Well, it's not really good at all. That was probably completely my fault. He's not able to get past through turn 11, Bilstein curve, or yeah, Bilstein curve. Go through turn 12, Advenbogen. 3 seconds of penalties, lurking behind into the chicane, Vidal chicane, turns 13 to 14, coming up into the braking zone. I hit my mark, and he just runs into the back of me, punts me into oblivion, and thankfully the game resets me before we see any R-rated blood and gore as I hit that wall. So, fair enough, I guess. I did give him that penalty that was probably not warranted, but I've been absolutely pummeled down into 8th place in the final lap, pretty much on the final corner as well, and we managed to bring it home in 6th, actually, after a couple of penalties up ahead. That was a surprise. Let's see, what were we in 8th? Let's see, Emperor 970, crossed the line with 6 seconds, so he got more penalties for binning me off, and then there was someone behind with some more penalties there. But that's where we leave that race. So, good little novelty kind of video. Of course, race A always is novelty kind, but we did have some good fighting in there, albeit some dirty driving, both by me and other opponents, but we're just having a bit of fun here, aren't we? Might as well make the most of my ratings being so low. But that's the end of the video today. I do urge you to hit that like button to let me know that you liked it, and do hit subscribe so you see amazing videos like this in your subscription box every week. But that is the end of the video today, and that means that is it from me. So once again, I do thank you very much for watching. See you later.